All right, I would like to welcome everybody to the inaugural 2016 Picks from Joe's Cowboys Ride for Free. It's been a long off season, as it always is. Had some free entertainment that worked pretty well every now and again during the off season between OSU baseball, some politics, which I'm ready for that to be done. But Wetzel here, you haven't seen me in a very long time. Real world, real life, day jobs, that kind of thing get in the way. And that's what happened last night. We were supposed to be on with Oklahoma, Mike Reese, and we were even going to have a guest appearance by King himself. However, my day job hijacked matters, ended up not happening, and now we're back into this evening, and King obviously is probably traveling, getting home for work, wasn't available, and Oklahoma bagged out on me for spurious reasons. I won't throw him under the bus tonight. Maybe we'll let him explain it next week. We'll just leave it at that. So anyway, it's been an interesting off season. We're going into a football season that's I think going to be pretty fascinating, not just from an Oklahoma State perspective. I think the Baylor drama obviously plays into it. And if you thought I dogged Baylor in the past, just wait till this year. I've got plenty stored up for them. I apologize for the glasses and the reflection here. I'm going to work on trying to figure out how to get rid of that, and I may just go sans glasses a lot. Tonight I can't because I had an eye appointment earlier today, and my eyes are still partially dilated. So if I take the glasses off, I can't see anything. And I have actually made some notes, as I usually do. So obviously college football has kicked off. The football really starts in earnest tomorrow. Pretty good slate of opening day games, despite your usual opening day patsies. But a nice slate of I'd say marquee games across the country tomorrow and Sunday and Monday because of the holiday weekend. The season obviously is already underway officially. Games tonight. You had some FCS last weekend. Pretty interesting stuff. Good stuff to watch. But a couple of games tonight of interest, and then tomorrow the schedule really kicks off in full force. Couple things here. We're not going to start it tonight just because I'm by myself, but we're obviously this year going to try to have a little bit of a format for Picks for Joe's, a little bit of one. Okay, and that could depend. You're obviously going to be very disappointed because this is my drink of the evening, water. I was up with work extremely late last night, did a lot of driving today, and I already had 3 Dos Equis at my in-laws. So I need this just to get through this broadcast right here. So that being said, we are going to try to work with the format. We had a pretty good one for tonight. Was going to involve messy britches and alcohol, but obviously 2 very key people are not here to be involved in that discussion, so we will table that until next week. Given that, I'm going to kind of stick to just boilerplate stuff here this week. Obviously some games going on right now. You've got Baylor, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what they are ranked. They're not ranked in my book. I personally just start this off with this. The mere fact that Baylor is involved in anything in football this season is just it's a joke. It's a complete travesty. It's an embarrassment. You have an institution that is bankrupt, void of any moral character of any kind, to any degree. And I mean, you saw the story that went around that Art Briles had a secret lunch this summer with the assistants. I mean, this whole thing is just, I mean, it's bullshit. And I don't, they're right. They're not ranked. They won't be ranked. They're not going to be anything. And as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't be anywhere on the map. So they're beating up somebody tonight. I'm seeing tweets from various people, not just Baylor fans. Oh, Baylor picking up where they left off last year. They're playing a ghost. All right. They're playing air. That's what they're playing tonight. They're playing a team that can't stay on the field with them. All right. I don't care. So whatever they do tonight, I think it's 55-0 now. I just saw somebody flash a score up here. I've got the K-State Stanford game on, and Stanford's starting to wear them out. Starting to get away from them here a little bit. K-State's offense not strong enough against Stanford's always been physical. I mean, you can hate the band all you want. Football team's always been very physical, running the ball and defensively too, very physical. And K-State's, it's a matter of time here before I think this gets out of hand. It's now 17-0. Another long run by McCaffrey that doesn't get called back. So I think that gets away from him. As far as the rest of the Big 12 goes, it's hot and cold as far as the games. You've got, some patsies. Baylor's got one. Oklahoma State's got one. Kansas has one, but there's no such thing as a patsy when Kansas is involved. You got TCU's got San Diego State, which I wouldn't necessarily say is a patsy, but they should easily take care of business there. Texas Tech's playing Stephen F. Austin. I think Brad Underwood hopefully will be rooting against Tech there. And what in many cases, because it's an FCS opponent, you'd say, oh, this should be a patsy, but this is not. Iowa State playing Northern Iowa, I think is going to be a very interesting test for the new coach in Ames. So getting down to our basic analysis here, and we'll leave Oklahoma State for last. Obviously, Baylor way ahead. Kansas State now is down 17-0, second quarter. We're going to go with the crap games first. I mean, by far and away the worst game of the weekend, Kansas and Rhode Island. Who cares? Who knows? Anything could happen. Kansas could win easily. Kansas could lose easily. You never know. So we'll see. You've actually got, if you're jonesing to go to that game, by the way, and you're in the area, there are 98 tickets available on StubHub starting at $32. No line. ESPN doesn't display any lines for any of the games that involve FCS opponents. So that to me is by far and away the worst game of the weekend. As far as, let's see here, that was Kansas, Rhode Island. I'll pick Kansas to win the game. I think Oklahoma shot me over a list, I think. I think I got that. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here we go. So Oklahoma's going KU to win that game. But like I said, who the heck knows? Anything could happen in Lawrence. Let's see here. Other games. Baylor Northwestern State, just a terrible game. It's another terrible game, but I think it has a little intrigue because of you have a new coach for Iowa State. Iowa State is hosting Northern Iowa. You've got 267 tickets left available on StubHub, $49 a ticket. No line again because Northern Iowa is FCS. I think I'm really intrigued. All right, take all the banter and ragging on teams and all that nonsense out of it. Pretty intriguing. Iowa State had Paul Rhodes for a long time. In college football years, and this guy, shoot, now I'm going to blank on his name. From Toledo, comes from Toledo. Had a good record at Toledo. So it'll be interesting to see. I think, much like Brad Underwood with basketball, and we'll talk about that a little bit here in a bit. Oh, they're not going to throw a flag on that. A little trippy. He had him beat too. Could have got a flag on that. K-State could have against Stanford would have helped. So a little bit like the Brad Underwood situation, where maybe it's going to take him a couple of years, to really get his players in, get his system instilled in the program, installed in the program. But if, as a coach, you're really going to make a difference in a program, you're going to see something this season. You've got, a fair number of players left over from Rhodes' era, including, I believe, the quarterback that gave OSU some fits last year. So you would expect, with the same group of players, to see something that indicates to you that this is going to be different than before. Just like I would expect from Brad Underwood in Oklahoma State basketball this year, which, again, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a while. But yeah, interesting game. Very easy. Northern Iowa was always a very good team in FCS, so very easily, this is a tough game. Not like where Tennessee thought they were going to waltz all over Appalachian State, and Appalachian State was a very, very unlucky play. Please don't anybody tell me that, oh, Tennessee won that game. Yeah. You fumble the ball into the end zone and one of your guys falls on it in a pile to score a touchdown that helps you win the game. I mean, Volunteers, you did shame to the color orange last night. So once again, people jumping on the Tennessee bandwagon, maybe not so quick. And Appalachian State's been a good program for years in FCS. They beat Michigan famously. So you get some of these FCS programs, especially early in the year, everybody's healthy. They're games that if your team's not like Alabama, let's say, Ohio State, you can have a time with some of these teams. Your kids aren't, they're not sharp. Maybe they're not motivated properly, focused properly. And these kids come in, the other team comes in, fired up, ready to go. Anything can happen. You think about it, the talent level itself in many of these programs is not, it's not this humongous gap. I agree with somebody talked, there were a few tweets on this maybe last weekend during the North Dakota State, was it Charleston? Is that who it was, Charleston? There were a few tweets about this, and I agree with this, that it's really, I mean, yes, you could say talent, only because more talented kids will go to the bigger schools, the bigger football schools. However, you had some darn good players. Carson Wentz, the North Dakota State QB from last year. That dude's a good quarterback. A lot of it has to do with depth. They're only I think they're maxed out at 63 scholarships, I think. They have a way of, like, there's a weird way they have of splitting that up. So they could actually have more players like on half scholarship if they wanted to. But that's not going to attract top tier talent. But, on any given opening day, first week, second week, you get those top FCS teams, they can sure enough give a middling, program, top tier program, they could give them trouble. And there goes McCaffrey again. He's something else. Stanford's going to win this game easily unless something crazy happens. So anyway, tough game for Iowa State. Be very interesting to see how they handle that. Stephen F. Austin in Tech. That's, what was there? 356 tickets available on StubHub, starting at $26. Again, no line. FCS games, no line. And let's see, do we have any others? And yes, OSU's an FCS game, but I'll save that one for the last. Interesting. You got TCU, San Diego State. Should be a blowout. We'll see. 845 tickets left, starting at $10. You can get in pretty cheap. See TCU play some football tomorrow. Again, no line because of the FCS opponent. So really, our first, besides K-State and Stanford, which is on right now, one of our other Division I matchups, if you want to call it that, Missouri at West Virginia. Pretty interesting matchup. West Virginia laying 10 points. I don't know. It's weird. First game, that feels like a lot of points. Even though they're at home. The other thing that gets me is the over-under. The over-under is only 50.5. That just seems strange to me. I mean, just on the surface, I'd like jump all over the over. West Virginia, I don't know. Hard to say, but let's see, what did I say? I think Iowa State pulls it off. I think new coach is going to make a difference. I think Iowa State wins that game against Northern Iowa. What did Oklahoma says, he picked Northern Iowa. No respect for the Cyclones. There you go. Tech should definitely beat Stephen F. Austin. Oklahoma didn't even bother to pick Tech. Okay, well, we'll give you Tech. If you pick Stephen F. Austin, then something's haywire. Missouri, West Virginia. Ooh, that's a tough one. I think West Virginia wins this game. Not sure they cover. I don't know. I got a weird feeling about that. At 10 points, double digit points on that first weekend playing. Yes, it's Missouri, but it's an SEC team. And West Virginia's not necessarily coming off gangbusters from last year. So we'll go. I'll go with West Virginia. I don't know that they're going to cover, but I would definitely take the over at 50.5. I mean, no question there. 497 tickets available on StubHub, starting at $52. Let's see. I would say the next game, as far as what you consider major Division I games, marquee games type thing. So I'm going to have some fun with this one. You got Notre Dame at Texas. This is the second half of the home and home that started last year when Notre Dame spanked Texas on national TV and at Notre Dame. So on the road, Notre Dame only giving 3.5 points. So that's kind of interesting. Over under 59.5. That's a tough over under, and it's tough because neither team comes in with a starting quarterback identified. Teams, you'll know the starting quarterback pretty much game time, just prior to game time. I don't know about Notre Dame, not paying all that much attention to them, but I just think it's laughable at Texas that you got Hurd, who spent he gave OSU a little trouble in that game and spent time at quarterback, moves to wide receiver. I mean, he was as effective as Tyrone Swoops. He was at least as effective as him. Move him to wide receiver. You got Swoops competing with Buchel. I don't know how you pronounce that name. Maybe we'll know soon enough. You're gonna. He went the wrong way. Can't run the wrong routes, people. You got a freshman, and I think true freshman, competing with Swoops for the starting job, and there was no separation. No separation in the fall camp. No separation. I think there are a few folks. I just get a feeling there's some folks that are all in on the freshman, and I think it's more because of the need to pass the ball, need to throw the ball. But it's the fact that there's no separation and they're going to wait till game time to announce it. I just think it's silly. I think that's all silly anyway. Gundy played that famously a few years back when we had the injuries at QB and who's coming back and who's getting the snaps, and he's trying to go back and forth because keep the opponent from being able to prepare. Got a really good running quarterback and a really good passing quarterback. The preparation by the other team is not going to drastically change. Okay, it's not going to drastically change. So we'll see. That'll be interesting. Notre Dame laying 3.5. Line and tough over under. That's a tough bet. I'd almost really stay away from that game just because of the unknowns with the QBs. Expensive game though. There are 505 tickets available on StubHub, starting at $302. Maybe I can watch that game on the Longhorn Network. Not. So the marquee game. Obviously, I think K-State Stanford is slightly ahead of Notre Dame Texas, just because I just feel that way. But the marquee game for the Big 12, I think, this weekend, obviously, is going to be OU Houston. Much like Oklahoma State, playing an opener down at Reliance Stadium in Houston. So technically a home game. I mean, they are listed as the home team, but it is in their, it's in their backyard. So it's not real. I wouldn't consider this. I think some folks would say it's neutral site. This is not a neutral site game. This is a home game for Houston. I think Reliance Stadium can be packed, and there'll be a lot of Houston. There'll be a lot of OU people down there too. I've got my good buddy, was really hurt in the flooding down there. They had a lot of damage in their house. Like my good buddy, who's a Sooner fan, a lot of damage in their house. They had to have, they had to move out basically, and no flood insurance. It was tough. It was a tough deal. They're now back in their house, and they're just kind of getting that taken care of. And he has had a couple of medical issues come up that he's just recovering from. And he's going to go. They're actually hosting a dinner in Houston tonight for some OU alumni, and then they're going to the game tomorrow. And I talked to him today, and he's like, I think that's about all I'm going to be able to handle. So I'm shocked myself that he's even going. In the conditions he's in, I kind of expected him to be there, but I had no idea until today that he'd had some of these medical issues. So this is a strange game. Okay. There's already some bulletin board material courtesy of somebody else, not courtesy of Houston, but somebody out there on Twitter and in the media proclaiming that Ward is a better quarterback than Mayfield. Mayfield tweets out, well, we'll find out at 11 o'clock, Central Time on Saturday. I know how OU fans feel about these 11 o'clock starts. Even OSU fans are not, enamored with them. OU's laying 11.5. That feels like a lot for an opener on the road, where they're playing against a team with something to prove, something, they get nothing to lose, something to prove. That's sneaky. That's a tough opener right there. I'd almost rather OU be playing a named opponent. Play USC, or play Michigan State, something, Mississippi State, something like that. I actually think it's easier to be mentally prepared and ready for that. But where you've got Houston's going to come in there, and I mean they're gonna come out flying, because this is their big game, really big game of the year. Chance to prove themselves, put their name on the plate for Big 12 consideration. Who knows what the hell's happening there. So that line, 11.5, OU given 11.5 feels kind of big. Over under 67. Of me. OU's offense is fast paced and designed to spread the ball around, score points. Houston, same way. Herman's a good coach. You know, I'd almost be angling to take Houston and the points and bet the over. You know, I could see this game being like a 42, 42-32 type of a contest. So Kansas is trying to hang in this game. They got 1st and 10 here, 27 seconds left to the end of the half. Stanford is up 17-zip. So they're in hurry up mode. They've got 1 timeout left. I'm sure folks are watching this, so let's pay attention to this. There's Ertz, drops back, throws to the end zone. Guy's not open. He threw right into double coverage. Receiver he's throwing. Oh, there's the flag. The late flag is going to be pass interference against Stanford, and it's going to give. Well, how do they do this in college? And I know in the full field, it's 15-yard penalty. So now it's forced at the spot of the foul. So is this? I'm lost because I haven't followed some of this. So excuse me for not knowing. But is this a spot of the foul because of where it took place, or is that the new rule in college? Are they going with spot of the foul? I'd like to know that. So anyway, it's going to give Kansas State the ball pretty deep. 22 seconds left, 1 timeout. So they're in pretty good shape here. As far as time, they got plenty of tries here at the end zone. So yeah, the OU Houston, tough, really tough. Tough game for OU. Houston, nothing to lose. Can prove something. You've got a good quarterback, got a very good coach. Yeah, I'd be inclined to take Houston in the points and go the over in that game. So yeah, I could see it being like 42-32, 45-35, even a 38-28. Now 38-28's under, but I could see it being that pretty easily. Let's see what Kansas State does here. Ertz back. He's going to lob it over there. And, ricochet. Tried to go back shoulder with the receiver. Got tipped up in the air and almost intercepted. I hesitated. That took a long time. He's fighting. Yeah, it's just hoping your receiver wins the physical battle over there to get to the ball. Tried to throw back shoulder. He threw back shoulder. That's probably a touchdown. But he threw right into the middle of the defender and the receiver. So here we go. 2nd and goal. Plenty of time. They got lots of time here with a timeout. No worries. Ertz looks like he may be changing the play. He's running out of time here. 2, 1. Yeah. Nope. God, are you kidding me? Delay a game. Not a disaster here. You're probably throwing the ball anyway. The extra 5 yards, maybe it gives you, a little more room to operate. But, we don't get upset, Bill. We don't want you to stroke out here. You, Mr. Snyder. So here they go again. We got to pay attention to this, people. This is college football. I can't talk about OU Houston with K-State trying to keep themselves alive here. I don't know what you think. A little naked now. You're not going to run it because then you'd have to burn the timeout. He tries to lob it in. Nope, overthrows it. This is what happens when you've got a quarterback who, can he throw the ball okay? He can throw the ball okay, but he's not gonna. This guy's not gonna pass for 4,000 yards. He's not gonna pass. Might not pass. He's probably not gonna pass for 3,000 yards. And I haven't seen just yet. I haven't seen K-State show a receiver who is the go-to guy, the guy you're going to throw it up to, and he's going to go get the ball. 3rd and goal, 11 seconds left, so plenty of time, and I think you go for it here. Is that going to be another flag? Are you kidding me? Wow. Two bodies go down in a heap. Let's see what happens here. Oh my God, they didn't throw a flag? Are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. How do you not throw a flag on that play? That was, he pretty much grabbed him and took him down. I mean, even if the receiver kind of dove a little bit, that looked good enough to throw a flag right there, even in slow motion. Snyder's having a little chat with the ref, but can you imagine Gundy? Gundy'd lose his mind. That'd be nuts. Gundy'd go crazy. So there you go. You got OU Houston game for the Big 12. Oklahoma State, Southeast Louisiana. Are we really going to learn anything? This game to me, it's better than Savannah State. I think you've got a better matchup than a Savannah State type matchup. It's definitely not that, but it is a glorified scrimmage. I think you've got to expect the starters to be out by the third quarter. This is a glorified scrimmage for the team. Central Michigan coming to town next week. So I think, what are you going to see? I don't, kind of like last year. Excuse me. Colorado, killing Colorado State. Hey, bring Colorado State into the Big 12. Maybe Kansas can beat them. So really, what is this game about? You guys tell me. I just, about the only thing I'm sort of super curious about is Barry J returning a kickoff. How many chances is he going to get tomorrow to do that? If OSU, say OSU wins the toss and they defer to the second half, Southeast Louisiana is going to kick off. If the dude kicks it away, he's not returning it, and chances are you're not going to see another kickoff. If you do, till late in the game, at which point I wouldn't have Barry J out there. So anyway, I just don't know if they run the ball. I would imagine, it would be more about the way they run the ball. If Oklahoma State runs for 150 yards tomorrow, am I going to get excited about that? No. I would expect, if they've really improved in the running game, I would expect them to put up a couple hundred yards on the ground at least, and big holes. Guys running through big holes. A lot of longer yardage runs. Not getting touched at the line of scrimmage, stuff like that. If they've really made a change or made a difference with the offensive line and the run blocking and the running backs are improving, then I would really expect, there's the end of the half, Stanford up 17-3. I would really expect it to look like they're running through, melted butter. If it's really going to make it, if it's really going to be something that's different. If we see them banging around 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 yard runs a lot, 40, 150 yards rushing, come on. I don't care if you're playing vanilla against this team. You have to be better than that. Really don't care about Rudolph and the receivers. I don't care what I see. It doesn't matter. So return game, see what the return guys do. We should see plenty of punt returns. And, maybe we get McCleskey and and Barry J gets a chance to return punts possibly. So there should be plenty of that for Oklahoma State. But, they should handle this game easily. Again, no line. It's an FCS opponent. There are 441 tickets left available, $33 per ticket. So, what are we going to see? What do we expect to see? What do you need to see as a fan? What do you need to see to feel good going to the next week? Like I said, Well, and I talked all about the offense. How about the defense? I'd expect the line of scrimmage to be completely controlled by Oklahoma State on the defensive side of the ball. I want to see how the corners play. I mean, I don't know how hard they're going to get tested. This is a spread option offense, so there's going to be more running than passing, I would imagine. So I'd like to see how, I'd like to see the team speed on defense, how they cover the ends. They should just dominate the line of scrimmage completely. So I would expect to see that, to feel okay. All right, we're headed in the right direction going the following week. It's hard. It's hard to tell. I'm in agreement with a lot of people here. I don't like playing. Excuse me. Oh. I don't like playing the FCS opponent. Just don't like it. And I know it serves a purpose. There's a lot of money in it for the FCS school, so it's great for them. It's a glorified scrimmage. Gundy, I know, probably enjoys this game a little bit from the perspective of it's not hard on his players. So who knows? But I'd much rather see OSU play like a Colorado State. Play someone who's Division I, but play a crappy Division I team. Don't play FCS. I love Central Michigan is a good mid-major. That's not a bad. That's a game that Oklahoma State. They struggled. Oklahoma State struggled there last year. They have a quarterback who's experienced and could give you some trouble. So it's a game you got to be paying attention to. Should they handle it at home? Yeah. But, now you ought to see, well, what's this team going to look like now against a sure enough, Division I team? And then you got Pittsburgh coming to town. I think that's going to be that could really turn out to be a little more interesting than folks are giving it credit for right now. So I mentioned we were going to talk about Brad Underwood in basketball. And just to say this, I mean, how many years has it been since you were really, really, truly intrigued and excited, eager for the basketball season? I can tell you right now, even the season where Marcus Smart, LeBron Nash, and Markel Brown came back, okay? There was that thing in, was I excited? Okay, I'm excited. There was that thing in the back of my head that this is Travis Ford. It is Travis Ford. How is this thing going to go downhill? And I got to tell you, I am jacked for basketball season. I'm really intrigued with Underwood. And not to say this whole thing couldn't fall flat. Who knows? There's just, there's an air, there's, that kind of an aroma, if you want to call it, around about him that, just this smells like basketball, people. This smells like, you're going to, again, I think, look, is the team going to go to the dance? Maybe, maybe not. Talent depth, is going to take its toll. But you've got to see a difference. There should be, when this team gets on the court, there should be a noticeable difference in how they move around and execute, offense. I'm not even going to go down that path talking about the offense from the previous regime, but you would expect to see something different. Yeah, they would look different. They should be, or they should look different. If Coach Underwood is really a difference maker, then the team should look different. Same, a lot of same players. Evans, Forte, Mitch Solomon. A lot of same players. We should see something different in the product. So that's it, guys. Sorry you just got me this week. I know not nearly as entertaining, but glad to be back. You'll probably, see me close to every week, but this will be about the only way you'll see me. And there may be a week or two where you have to catch the other guys because I'm on the road running around, flying all over the place. So hope everyone has a great and safe, have a very happy and safe Labor Day weekend. Enjoy your families if you're doing that, and enjoy some college football. It's back. Go Pokes. Talk to you guys later.